The legions of dwarfs have come to save Thorin. Hey, how's it going? My name is jackiefishhh and welcome back to another custom map battle for Rise of Mordor Total War. Today we are reenacting the custom scenario of the Battle of the Five Armies, but what if the Orc armies never turned up and it was just a fight to the death between the dwarfs of the Iron Hills led by Dain and the elves led by Thranduil as Thorin cowers in his mountain going crazy. Today we're going to have one hell of a battle with over 4,000 soldiers on either side. The dwarfs are bringing some of their strongest warriors to this fight. They even have a nice artillery piece right there. And basically this is going to try and recreate the battle from the movie, the extended version, which I highly recommend. If you have not seen the extended version of the Battle of the Five Armies, I implore you to watch it. It adds in so much more combat and even adds in a really cool fight between the elves and the dwarfs before the other armies do turn up. But today's battle should be absolutely crazy as Dain leads his dwarven force forward. We even have another legion back here as well, which is slowly making its way in. So the dwarfs have come with the full might of the Iron Hills. With axemen, swordsmen, everything. We've got that here today. So it should be a very exciting battle. So whilst the elves are marching up, we'll go ahead and take a quick look at their forces and we'll then jump straight into this battle and watch it unfold. So if we take a look at the elven forces, they do have these elven archers on the front line outside of the Lonely Mountain right there. Looking very cool. As we go further back, we have the elven spear guard. These dudes, again, are pretty sturdy. Not going to be doing anything crazy, but doing a lot of damage. Then we also have some of the elven swordsmen. These guys are very fine warriors. As we continue to go back, I believe we then have these elite elven two-handed sword warriors. These guys just do so much damage. Then they're going to need it. Also, look how amazing that looks in the distance. I love this map. MT, the map creator, has outdone him. This is actually the official Battle of the Five Armies map that MT made, and I've actually already done the Battle of the Five Armies, so if you're new to the channel, go over to my channel and check it out after this video. It was probably the best battle I've done on the channel, and we recreate the Battle of the Five Armies. It has like 20,000 soldiers, and it's epic. We have a fight outside of the Lonely Mountain, and then we have a fight inside the city, which is just amazing. It really is cool. It's just such a good map. MT definitely outdid himself. So it's going to be the elven force anyway, as we go back to the battle. Then for the dwarfs on their front line, they have some of these shield breakers. These guys are two one-handed axemen. They throw their axes as well before combat. Very strong. Then we have some of the dwarven shield guard right here. Again, these guys are very sturdy. They want to get into combat as quickly as possible. We then also have some of the siege engineers, I think they're called, but they're basically just crossbowmen with these hefty crossbows rather than the smaller variant. We then also have some of the axe guard right here. These guys are basically, you know, just armored dwarfs with axes. We also then have some pikes. Following behind that, we have some of the hammer guard. And then it's going to be kind of very much the same as we were further and further back. But I mean, look at the legions of dwarfs right here, ready for combat. That just looks insane. So I guess without further ado, let's get this battle underway and watch these two sides collide. I mean, that is just absolutely insane. But what we'll do is we'll tell my Discord to go, and we'll get this battle underway. So if you guys want to be a part of these kind of scenarios in the future, be sure to join my Discord down below. That's where you can go ahead and, you know, just get notified whenever we fight and these battles do go live. So the first initial volley is going to be going out from the elves. The elves are going to be using that missile advantage to their side as the artillery rounds do come in. The dwarfs are using that, and the elves are actually pulling back already their archer line behind the spears. I'm surprised they're doing that as early as they are. I really honestly expected them to maybe delay that a little bit as more of the artillery comes flying in, doing plenty of damage. And this is to kind of represent the twirly machines that the elves had, or the dwarfs had even. I don't know where the rest of the armies are moving up. The entire army needs to move forward. At the moment, they're just sending forward a small line, which is not going to be great. We are going to be having, though, a cavalry charge moving around the left-hand side, pushing further and further in. These shield breakers are getting absolutely destroyed right now. They need to move forward all of their soldiers. Maybe they're looking to throw these shield breakers forward as kind of like an initial assault to try and absorb a lot of the missile fire. But they honestly need these guys to try their best just to, you know, if they're going to absorb the ammunition, use it so that the other force can still move up. We are now getting the rest of the Dwarven forces to march forward, which seems like a very sensible idea. And whilst this is happening, the shield breakers are hopefully staying true to their name, fighting against the heavy Elven force, which we do have right here. Even having some cavalry coming around the back. Oh my god, Thranduil has done a great job of maneuvering his cavalry around. And he's actually managed to engage the Dwarven Merchant Guard right here, which is being cut to pieces. The Dwarves are sending more and more forces forward, but it's just kind of it's just taking them a little bit too long to do this, as more and more of them come flying forward in one epic battle. I mean, my god, just look at this. The artillery coming in, the Dwarven force is marching forward, and yeah, this is where the Dwarfs want to be. I feel like the Dwarfs haven't taken too much damage in this battle so far from the archer fire, and now the battle lines are truly clashing as both sides commit their kind of elite units to this fight. More dwarfs turning up, and the legions of dwarfs just need to keep on advancing, especially now that their crossbows are in range. All these crossbows can do some crazy damage if they just get some good volleys off. And they're going to be retaliating this missile fire. The cavalry has now been pushed back into formation for the elves, waiting for a better opportunity. Yeah, they're going to be pulling back all of their cavalry as the dwarfs continue to move forward their large force. We can also see more of the elven reinforcements being pushed over to that left-hand side. The dwarf side just being very cautious with their reinforcements. It's not a bad idea. They want to keep their crossbows protected, and most of the time these dwarven infantry are going to be probably outclassing the elves, at least on that front position. Especially these Axe Guard, which we're looking at right now. The Axe Guard are a very deadly unit, and they can go toe-to-toe with some of the strongest in Middle-earth. And we can also just see the rest of the Iron Hill legions making their way up. They have a lot of reserves, which is just crazy to see. I mean, there are so many soldiers in this battle. As we start the camera, that's going to go down the battle line really quickly as more and more elves, more and more dwarfs get pushed into this front line. The elves are starting to surround them, but, you know, maybe that's not going to be enough. Oh, wow, the Axe Guard, or the Hammer Guard are now getting engaged against the elves, and they are just going to smash through this elven spear wall. They're going to need to send more reinforcements up very soon, as the dwarfs are just committing everything they have right now to this fight, looking just to deal a knockout blow. Oh my god, look how amazing that looks right there, with Dale in the background. That just looks insane. Sorry, but this is what Total War is all about right now. That is just beautiful. I can say nothing less. And the dwarfs have just smashed their way in true dwarven fashion. They're cheering, but there's elves right in front of them. They need to try and rotate around and try and deal with this as more and more of the archer fire comes off. I mean, it's really up to the elves to try and just do as much damage with their missiles. It looks like as well that they've formed up a nice little wall right here of infantry and shield wall as more and more of the dwarfs do try and get involved. The dwarven numbers are very, very similar actually to the elven numbers. The balance of power is very even. It doesn't really look like it's shifted whatsoever in the battle, but the elves are definitely winning on these flanks with their superior cavalry force. The dwarves were kind of winning in the center of the melee engagement, but the dwarves are continuing to push around more and more forces. We're actually going to see a unit of elven cavalry come flying into the side of Dane himself. That's not good. The shield breakers throwing their axes at the flying away cavalry. Wow, that must have done so much damage to Dane's unit. Yeah, he lost 10 brave dwarfs right there. That's not too good. As the dwarfs have just broken heavily through the elven center right here. And the crossbows are doing plenty of damage, but it's kind of just not enough damage as we see. Oh, baby, look at that shield wall by the elves. That is something special right there. The dwarfs is trying to cut their way through. It'd be an interesting scenario if this actually happened, you know, in the books and the movies. If the orcs just didn't turn up and the elves and dwarfs just fought bitterly to the death. It'd be absolutely crazy as these dwarfs are getting cut down. Lots of them being decapitated. I mean, it's going to be hard to pierce through the shield wall of the elves. But as we can see in the balance of power, no one is really kind of edging off in this battle. And again, the balance of power is still pretty goddamn even. The Elves have managed to cut down the Dwarven advantage by a couple hundred men, but honestly, it's nothing too serious. And the Dwarfs have this huge push. Actually managed to smash with the second line now of the Elves. Wow, this is impressive. These Hammer Guard are just going through line after line of Elven warriors. And if you guys are enjoying this, be sure to go down right now and hit that like button. Also, be sure to hit the bell notification, because I have another crazy battle coming up for you guys this weekend, or maybe at the start of next week, where we're using the brand new Gondor architecture on another amazing map made by the map modder who made this map. Using really cool Gondor themed buildings, so it's not going to look like a tiller, it's going to look amazing. So be sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you get notified when the video goes live. But I also do upload every single day, so if you're ever wondering, oh, Jackie hasn't uploaded today, just go and check the channel. I would have uploaded, that's 100%. I very, very rarely miss a day. But this has just been such an awesome battle so far. I'm so happy that it's been really even. No side really seeing victory, as the Dwarfs are continuing to commit more and more of their forces into this engagement. And you can just see the line where the Dwarfs are just slowly cutting their way through this center formation. And the Elves are just having more and more lines to push forward. The Elven cavalry is proving difficult as the pikes continue to move up, and all the Elven archer fire is flying in on these pikemen by the looks of it, and also trying to kill the cavalry as these two-handed Elven swordsmen fight bravely on against the axe guard. Again, the balance of power is kind of starting to shift a little bit in favor of the Elves. Yeah, the Elves are starting to take the advantage just a bit. And I imagine a large portion of that is down to the archers. But the thing is, if the Dwarfs can get onto the archers, they're going to kill them very quickly. And it looks like they are almost breaking through here. But this is a perfect opportunity for the Elves, and I think they're going to be doing exactly what I'm about to say. They're going to form up a nice little box around, or a U shape, with their formation and box the Dwarfs in. A lot of the Dwarfs back here are routing, even though the crossbows are shooting overhead. It's just whether or not they can break through. And oh my, this could be a huge break right now. If this line breaks, then they can go through here and hit the final line before the archers. And the Elves are actually running kind of low on ammunition. So this could be a very telling battle. Because if the Elves run out of ammunition, the Dwarfs have these Vault Wardens left remaining. And if these Vault Wardens can get into the combat, they're going to be very, very hard to kill. You know, a very heavily armored dwarf with a pike at his hand. You're not going to break through that shield wall. They also have all these engineers they can throw in as well. But all the Elven volleys coming in sync. That's like a couple 300 or 400 volleys right there. Just doing so much damage to these Vault Wardens. We also have some formations back there. But the Elven cavalry is actually going to get a wonderful charge off onto the crossbows. And it does look like one of the Dwarven generals has been killed. I don't think that's Dane quite yet. Dane is still in here. Yeah, Dane is actually fighting right here, I believe. Yep, this is Dane right here, fighting bravely alongside his fellow Dwarven legions. Where is Thorin, though? The traitor has stayed inside with his dragon sickness. Because I like to think, you know, if this did happen, Thorin wouldn't have come out to fight alongside Dane. Because he really came out when he was fighting to fight the orcs, and a lot of time had passed when the orcs had kind of pushed Dane back to the gates of Erebor. So I'd like to think if this would have just been a massive fight, Thorin wouldn't have kind of come to his senses. Getting a little bit of lag here and there. Unfortunately, these aren't the official units for the Elves, so they don't have many low kind of textures. They're really just one high quality texture. So it does kind of, you know, put a bit of pressure on people's systems. And obviously I'm doing this battle live to avoid any desyncs, so because of that, the battle just gets crazy as well. I mean, oh my god. The Vault Wardens proving their strength along this battlefield. And they're continuing to try and break through the center. Balance of power has kind of shifted. The Elves do have a 500-man advantage, but all of their ammunition is about to run out. And even though these are still Elves, you know, Elves are still good with a bow, sword, whatever. they're kind of running out. And if the dwarfs can just, you know, break through this, which is exactly what they're doing. They only have one strong line of, they only have a couple infantry units left. What, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? That's not too hard to break through. So the dwarfs could definitely bring this one back, even though it is looking a little bit shaky. And we'll go proper cinematic mode now as well, just to continue to watch this battle. It's not looking the dwarf. The dwarfs do need Thorin to ride out, but he is not going to. He is deep in the mountains looking for his Arkenstone. How amazing would it be if they somehow managed to get a dragon in this mod? Like, imagine if they managed to somehow backport the dragons from Warhammer and stuck them in this mod. And I didn't tell you guys either that it happened. And all of a sudden, you just see Smog just come out of the mountains and just descend upon this. Obviously, by this point, he's been slain, but you know what I mean. Like, just imagine how cool that would be. We take this battle from an A+ to an A+++. Oh, you nearly had my head. That's kind of funny. Never really heard that before. The dwarves are pushing forward more of their forces, but it looks like they're just running out of men. And Dane has been slain on the battlefield. No, he's been slain, what, 60, 70 years too early. Fun fact about Dane is he ends up dying at the Lonely Mountain, fighting alongside the King of Dale, which is Bard's grandson, I think, by that time, or maybe Bard's great-grandson. He dies fighting alongside him at the gates of Erebor against Angmar and the War in the North, which I really hope they make some movies on. Like, the War in the North is really awesome, and they could have it, like, the penultimate thing being the fight outside of Erebor. It'd be really cool. I think it would really work in, like, a TV series. And if the Amazon TV series are doing multiple separate episodes instead of, like, a continuous series, which is rumoured, it's rumoured that they're doing, it's rumoured that Amazon are doing episodes on the Fellowship characters before they kind of were in the Fellowship. So there could be an episode of Boromir reclaiming Osgiliath, there could be an episode of Aragorn maybe hunting for Smeagol, you know, maybe do some bullshit with Legolas and Aragorn, because in the end of The Hobbit, Thranduil sends Legolas off to find Aragorn. It didn't really happen, but, you know, I mean, who knows, it could have happened. It's just not explicitly stated. These elves, though, are cutting down the dwarfs. They are being slaughtered now as the elves push home their advantage. The balance of power is extremely in the favour of the elves. Oh, the elves have 1,700 elves left, whereas the dwarfs only have 400. The brave couple dwarfs charging in still, fighting over Dane's body. They will not give up this battle without a fight. And I mean, it's been one hell of a fight, I'll say that. And they have slain many of these elves. So what I was thinking of doing for the next battle, as this one does round up right now, is I was thinking of doing the battle for Dale. So doing, you know, because I've already done the battle of the 5 armies, but I haven't done, like, the individual battles. So what I might do for an entire video is just do the Siege of Dale, where we have 2 players with large armies, so like 4,000-5,000 units apiece. And we just have the Siege of Dale, which was part of the Battle of the 5 Armies, and we just play that out for an entire episode, and maybe the next episode is the defense outside of Erebor against the Orcs, and just kind of maybe the next battle is like the last arc, the Eagles turning up and stuff like that, and instead of just having one battle where everything happens, kind of spread it across 3 or 4 battles. Let me know if you think that is a good idea, but it does look like the elves have managed to claim victory this day, slaying the dwarfs on the battlefield. Dane just did not have enough to break the elven missiles. He needed the twirly things, the twirly ballistas. They would have saved his elves a lot of lives. If we look at the kills vote, we can see that Dane, no, this was Dane, I think this was Dane, getting 47 kills, not too bad. Grimhammer's 111, which is pretty impressive. Then if we look at the other force again, the engineers doing pretty good, 132 on this unit. All the other dwarfs getting a couple hundred, like 50, 60, a couple hundred in total. Then if we take a look at the elven forces, the cavalry really proving MVPs. There was no goats in this battle. Unfortunately, goats are not in Rise of Mordor yet, but hopefully one day they will be. And the archers just getting the upper end of 100, which is kind of, or the bottom end, like the upper end of the 90s, which is kind of nice. And this unit as well, 100 kills and didn't lose hardly anyone. Not too bad. Looking at Deadman's army as well, his archers all over 100 kills, and his cavalry as well doing an amazing job. So if you guys enjoyed this battle, be sure to drop a like and a comment. Let me know what you thought of my multi-stage battle idea, and we can even do that with like Minas Tirith as well. You know, have the first like 2 levels on the first battle where we have like 10,000 soldiers aside, and then on the next day we just refill up the units and have like the Rohirrim turn up and the Battle of Pelennor Fields, and then the final day we could do something else. I don't know. Just let me know what you guys think of like this multi-battle scenarios, because I think we could have some pretty awesome stuff. Also, be sure to keep an eye on the channel, because we're going to be doing the custom map battle with the new Gondorian buildings. So we're actually going to have Gondorian looking cities, and we're going to have some fun with that, let me tell you. And the mod makers are making some pretty crazy maps. We can even have an official Minas Tirith with actual Minas Tirith looking buildings and walls. Oh, it's going to be so good. But yeah, make sure to like and comment. I'll see you guys in the next one.